What do you do if the guy you like and are exclusive to has suddenly fled the country? How do you make sure a guy that you sleep with early on continues to work for you? What do you do with cultural differences? How do you explain those to a guy who doesn't understand them without things getting weird? And how do you handle the tricky situation of Skype sex with a guy that you've already slept with in real life, but who you're not exclusive to? Welcome to another Ask Mark. Thank you for your great questions and thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already. This is the opportunity for you to have your questions answered by me one-on-one. So thank you for sending them in. You've sent me some doozies this week. You're not making this job easy. Let's get straight into them with a question from D. Just D. D says, Mark, I'm exclusive with this guy. We had a date last week and I asked him when will I see him again, and he said he would tell me. A day passed by and he texted, my boss just told me I have to leave to America today. In an hour, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I replied I would miss him, have a safe trip. We haven't talked in 3 days. I know he travels often, so I do believe he is out of town. Well, that's a good thing. But I feel like usually these sort of trips don't really come out of the blue. Hey, need you in Mexico in half an hour's time. Can you get down there for me? Wait. I'm really confused now because I feel like he knew but didn't want to tell me, which makes me think he's not really committed to the relationship. But another part of me wants to trust him and text him to check in on him. But at this point, I don't know how to act or feel. I was sad at first. Now I'm so confused and sad because should I wait until he comes back to try and text and talk to him first? I need your opinion, please. D, you haven't gone into the dynamics here as in how long you're together, how long you've been exclusive to this guy, and that stuff is important here. I get a little bit of the vibe that this is a bit more casual than perhaps exclusive should be. Going exclusive is a big commitment. It's one of the biggest things you possibly have to give to a guy. It's one of the biggest things you have to offer. One of the ironies, I think, of dating coaching, having coached both genders, is that women are often the ones who come to me more interested in commitment. You didn't used to get too many male students who were like, how do I get her to commit? It's not typically a problem men complain about. I've always found this interesting because it's generally women that benefit more from staying single. Now, this is why your exclusivity is so important and something you want to make sure you value. I just want to make sure here, D, you are valuing it. I get the vibe a little bit that it's kind of like very casual exclusive. It's like, oh, I've just given him my exclusivity. We're not that close. So make sure you're valuing it. I could be wrong. I don't know the vibe or dynamic here. But look, I would certainly say there's not great communication going on here at all. If exclusivity is basically 90% of the way to a relationship, it's a relationship in everything but label. So your communication certainly isn't reflecting relationship in every way but label. It's reflecting like very casual dating. Hey, we chat over text occasionally. This is your boyfriend, you're calling him. Like, you're not getting the treatment that you deserve or should be getting from an exclusive guy here, D. It's probably not something to bring up over text. It's potentially something you could bring up to him over a call if the feel is right. But I would definitely be, without knowing more information, I would definitely be sitting down to this guy and talking to him like, are you in this or are you not? And see if you can get him to open up and literally say to him, look, I know you messaged me just before the trip. I feel like they wouldn't send you across the Pacific Ocean, or Atlantic Ocean, I think it is, on an hour's notice. Have you felt a bit uncomfortable telling me these things in advance? Have you been scared of my reaction? It's okay if you have. I just want to know so I can, be better and handle things better. And he might open up to you then as to why he didn't tell you, and hopefully that will facilitate the communication moving forward. But there's definitely a couple of fishy, weird things about the situation, D. So I wouldn't do it over text. Perhaps you can get him on the call, and if he's in the right state, you can do it. But I mean, he's not even texting you for like 3 days. This is almost like a he needs space situation at this point, which is why it seems weirdly casual, and you definitely need to establish a much better communication dynamic if you're going to be ongoingly exclusive to this guy. Second question is from Slow Class Guy, and Slow Class Guy says, hey Mark, can you do a video about having sex early into dating a guy but still making him work for you, if that makes sense? Kai, that makes so much sense, you have no idea. You've touched on a massive topic here, and half the videos on this channel probably talk about things that are relative to making a guy work for you after sex. The biggest thing I would say is if you take the sex out, it should still look the same as a normal dating pattern. You know, so making this whole work for sex thing, it can get a bit weird, and we won't go into that in this video. There's other videos that you guys know I've done on that. But a lot of times, a lot of women have the connection with I slept with him and I'm completely won over by him as linked together. If you want to enjoy sex for yourself, early in a relationship, enjoy casual sex, good for you if you want to do that, but it shouldn't be linked with I'm won over by him. If you're going to have sex on the first or second date, you're not going to be completely won over by that guy. You have no idea if he's husband, even boyfriend material, and unless your standards are quite low, which I'm sure it's not for you, you're going to be continuing to qualify that guy long after you've slept with him. So this is going to come across in everything you do. We've got the boyfriend benefits video, so have a watch over that. What men want in a woman is the video. I'll link it in the description, and we talk about the boyfriend benefits. Love, support, companionship, all that sort of stuff that men absolutely adore about a relationship. We talk about how they value exclusivity, the excitement of coming into your life, and sex on tap, as in a regular source of sex. So balancing these things out so that they can trial them out, that they can see what it would be like to have you as a girlfriend, but you're not throwing all your support at him the way a girlfriend would. You're not throwing all your companionship at him, not because you're playing hard to get, just because you have other healthy priorities. So linking back to what I said at the start, it's really just about take sex out of the equation. How would you continue to qualify this guy? If this was third, fourth, fifth date and you hadn't had sex, you're still qualifying this guy. You're still like, oh, is he up to my standards? Is he not? You're still not making him your top priority. You're still doing other things. You're seeing your friends. You're not always texting back straight away because you have other things going on. You've got a nice balance there. But the thing is, because so many women associate sex with being won over, that balance often changes after sex. And the guy doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like you're as willing to walk away as you were before sex. So sex shouldn't change anything. It shouldn't change the dating at all. You're still qualifying the guy. You're still seeing if he has the traits that you're looking for in a future boyfriend, husband. Nothing changes. If you can sleep with a guy early on and just treat him the exact same way, keep qualifying him you would as if you didn't sleep with him, then the guy's going to keep working. It's going to be no big deal at all, and the guy's just going to keep working for you and wanting to win you in his life. I just got off the phone to a client and we were talking about, in terms of how to make a guy chase you, and that video, one thing we talk about is the willingness to walk away. And there's always going to be a point where if something happens, if a guy treats you a certain way, you're going to be willing to walk away. That's what a self-respecting woman does. But a lot of women, the moment they have sex, they're less willing to walk away. The dynamic changes. In some cases, they let their feelings get ahead of their self-respect or the proper boundaries they should be putting in place. And suddenly the guy feels like he doesn't have to work because you've got less willingness to walk. So overall, treat it exactly as you would pre-sex or if you just didn't have sex at all. If you're exactly the same and don't change the way you behave and the way you qualify him, then he will still work for you after sex, okay? I hope that answers that question for you pretty comprehensively. Katie Patricia, I like this question. This was a thinker. Hi Mark, I absolutely love all your videos and find them super helpful. Thank you, Katie, I really appreciate that. I've noticed though that when you give long distance advice, it's usually either for a couple who have had a regular relationship who have moved away, or for a couple who've met online and are not face to face yet. What about the in-betweens, Mark? Why you forget us? I'm kind of doing long distance non-exclusively with a guy I met over a year ago and we hooked up once, then went home. We kept in contact for a year and he flew me to his country, which is awesome. He has been back in my country twice and it's been amazing. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to get to see him for 4 months when we are going on holiday together. Cool. As we are not yet exclusive, how often do you think we should be communicating to maintain a connection, number one? And also regarding your Skype sex advice, obviously we already slept together and he has bought me a toy which he can be controlled remotely and is keen to try it out. After listening to your advice, I'm still not sure what to do. Is it okay to have phone sex without the video aspect? Thanks in advance. Awesome question, awesome question. This one got me thinking, and there are weird sort of situations in betweeners like this. So here's what I'd say, Katie. First of all, how often should you contact? This is going to totally depend on your dynamic, but clearly whatever you've been doing has been working so far. So it's been a year, you've kept in touch with him. I mean, as a broad sort of piece of advice, you might say weekly or so to get him on the phone, something like that. But if you change the dynamic too much, it can make things a bit weird. So hopefully what's been happening so far is you guys have had a good balance of investment. He's calling you, sometimes texting you, you're calling him, sometimes texting him. And it sounds like you're both investing, you know, he's wanting to fly over, take you on holidays, you're obviously keen on him. So I think in terms of contact, it sounds like you just got to keep doing what you're doing and don't get weird with anything. I'd say once a week as a guideline, but that might not be normal for your dynamic. You might be the type that talks only a couple times a month, and if you try and force it once a week, he could be a bit weird for him. Again, reciprocation for reciprocation. You can try and push in an extra call or two, but you want him always reciprocating that and showing that he wants to push for an extra call or two as well. The second part of the question regarding the Skype sex, I thought was really, really interesting. Now, Katie, my advice would still be, and this applies to you out there as well, is stay away from video with any guy who's not your boyfriend. Any guy you're not exclusive to is not your boyfriend, stay away from video. This is an interesting situation because you've got a couple of cool things going for you. You've got a bit more trust than usual. You've got the toy from a distance, which is awesome. I can tell you, Katie, you are going to be able to build massive sexual attraction, tension, and you're going to have some hot ass moments by just using this toy via the phone. Like when he hears you making those noises, when he hears that he is controlling that, he is still going to be so turned on by that. There's no need, I think, for video in this case. You know, he might even suggest, he might go, oh, can we please turn the video on? I'm like dying to see you. And you can be like, not yet, mate, but I can't wait for you to fuck me in person. You can really put yourself out there with this one and keep that air of safety while still building massive attraction in that guy and have him like going ballistic for you, listening to you, craving you, and it's going to make the sex in person absolutely spectacular as well. And last question is from Samantha, and this is a really cool one because this is talking about a different side of dating. Samantha says, "Hi Mark, I'm not sure if you've ever spoke about this in any of your videos, however here I go. I'm a girl into her culture and all. When I was younger, I was advised to save myself until marriage or at least serious commitment. In my culture, a girl can't move out until they are ready for marriage. Old-fashioned, but I like it that way. Lol, anyways, how can you tell a guy without feeling weird and hoping he understands? Thanks, Mark." Samantha, this is a great question. Now, I have a couple of clients from other cultures, different cultural backgrounds, and what I have to remember as a coach is they're hiring me for my opinion on their situation and for my advice on it. I have to tell them what I believe is in their best interests, and I have to be honest with them about that. So, beliefs are going to be always different across cultures, and this is a great example. Not living with someone before marriage is never something I personally advise, and the reason for that is it's important to know compatibility and how you fit in with that person, you know, when they're at their worst, when they're having a down day, just how they operate day to day. And this is why I recommend moving in with someone before marriage. Now, this isn't something that's for you. You've said, hey, this is my belief, I like it that way, and that's great. You should friggin' own that. But you've got to own it around men as well. So if this is something that you feel weird about, men are going to feel weird about when you tell it to them. Kind of think of it like no sex before marriage. If someone is no sex before marriage and you're all weird about telling them and you don't want to admit it, then it's going to come off weird to men. Now, if you own it and you're just like, hey, this is me, this is what I do, take it or leave it, then men are going to resonate well with that. That's not to say every man's going to stick around for it. If you know sex before marriage, the fact is a lot of men will accept it and go, yep, that's great, she believes that, but this isn't for me, I'm out. And the reality is this is going to make you less compatible with a lot of guys because this just isn't for a lot of guys. But if this is your belief, you should own it. Now, as you go through your life, you'll go, okay, what are the interests that are best for me? And which parts of my culture do I want to keep? And which parts do I maybe not want to? You know, Katie made a comment here, I was also influenced a lot by culture, but I solely acknowledge and reject those things that I feel are unfair to women. And you'll have to think about whether you want to change any of these things for you, Sam. And this, you know, this takes a lot of personal courage. I have one client and her family wants her to be with a particular person and the person doesn't live in the same state as her, and the family has basically said, you have 6 months to get to know him, then we want you either with him or not. Now to me, that's not something I would coach for her. Clearly, you know that. She would need time to get to know him. Even if they were in the same state, 6 months is not enough time because you're still in that honeymoon phase. So she asked for my advice and I give her my take on it, and then she gets her family's take, and she has to make that decision for herself. And this is the same as you, Samantha. You've got to make what parts you keep and what parts you don't keep for yourself. At the moment, you've said, I want to keep this part, which means you need to own it. So tell the guys, it's probably going to come up somewhere in the 3rd to 5th date that this is your culture. You know, it might be obvious to them. They might ask about your culture, or it might come up when the guys ask you about your background, whatever it is. You've got to own it. You've got to own it. You've got to tell guys, and as long as you don't think it's weird, they're not going to think it's weird. They might consider themselves incompatible with you as a result, but if you're going to have this belief, there's nothing you can do about that. You've got to own it and find the person who's compatible for you. Well, Sam, I hope that answers your question, and for the rest of you as well, Kai, Katie, Dee, I hope that answers your questions. What's your question? I'd love to hear. I keep the ask marks coming every single week, so let me know your question. Pop it in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications with new videos. We've got some cool ones coming out. Next one should be out in a couple of days' time. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, and I can't wait to see you in the next video really soon.